Hello, everybody, and good evening in the German area. Good morning to the United States, and good afternoon to Brazil, where we have our today's guest, Victor Silva, um, just on the jump seat to get our complete attention, not the hot seat. It's a positive meaning of we love to have experts on an international area, and it is fantastic that aside of Jesus Hoyos, we have time by time as a guest who is covering a bit of the Southern Americas or Middle Americas. That we have now the opportunity due to Thomas' contact that we have a fantastic insight view on CX and the proper UX in CX and how it can change things. Welcome, Victor, and we are very grateful that you join us.
Thank you, Ralph. Hello, everyone. So my name is Victor Silva, and I am a solution value advisor at SAP. I am a native Brazilian, born and raised here, and I like to and spend almost my whole life living in small cities where we see the rise of these small communities from people working together, collaborating for the greater of that community. And I think it's very similar to what you are doing here with the CRM community, getting people to share their different perspectives and learn from each other. So thank you for that.
We hope you had, as our viewers and our loyal audience, had some nice days of the holiday seasons, and the one or the other will still have the family around. And looking forward to what as topics we could have and what we prepared. I'm a bit curious on your former jobs and your career, and if you can talk us a bit about what your role actively is and why we have taken the chance and the opportunity, and there is something behind that UX can manage to get the CX even smarter, better, and more used, that we can get this up and running.
Yeah, before going to the meat on the CRM topic, let me share some background. Before I joined the CRM community, I was actually in the software development community. I used to
Welcome.
welcome. Uh, so I used to develop applications in Delphi, PHP, JavaScript, things you rarely hear these days, right?
Delphi. Wow.
Well, if you're
Delphi.
old enough,
Yeah.
you still know it, yeah?
Yeah, Delphi was probably that before I started, but anyhow, uh, JavaScript might be the only thing you still see these days, right? As Node.js or something
Or
similar.
PHP.
Yeah.
Yeah, PHP. Yeah, sometimes. So on that area, I worked in a few companies in the software development, and a bit before finishing college, I joined SAP and the CX gang uh, to as in the custom development area. So I was working in CRM implementations.
Mhm.
Not only CRM but cloud products implementation and developing small customizations for those projects. After that, I had some experience in functional technical consulting, and after that, in the area of advising customers on onboarding and also on the adoption of CRM.
If
So that
if you're saying CRM in the context of SAP, you hopefully do not mean the old beast that I'm partly responsible of, but the new cloud stuff.
it's a new cloud stuff. So as soon as I joined it, the product was called Customer on Demand, which is now SAP Sales
Oh,
Cloud.
you started those times. Okay.
Yeah. By that time, I had the opportunity to work in a few implementation projects, and we have just had Christmas a few days ago, right? And I I thought that. our Christmas dinner was very similar to some of the CRM projects we had. So I was
Oh,
part of the cooking team for our Christmas. And the first thing we did was taking that big turkey and put in the oven. That was the biggest item on our project. So we had an estimation of how long it would take, but honestly, it could take 2 hours more, 2 hours less. We never knew. Uh, so we're proceeding preparing all that dinner, and at some point we had these what in Brazil we call the Greek rice. Is that rice with like dry fruits, dry grapes
Mhm.
that people either hate or they love it. It's like the CRM as well.
that's good to
So
know.
for our Christmas, we had actually the both prices, a normal one and that one. And as soon as we had our turkey ready, we had everything else ready for the Christmas. But you know what? It's not the dinner that makes Christmas special, right? It's getting people
Yeah,
together, maybe sharing some games, connecting to each other, maybe having some drinks and everything. It's almost like the CRM as well, where we have all these nice to have things that we should put in place for the project. And that is, in my opinion, that is what makes the CRM special in the end. It's all the combination of the small hints that we deliver to
yeah.
users that will make them remind of the CRM. It's not that entering the opportunity or saving the order that will make the CRM special.
It's a lovely picture you use.
Yeah.
Tom, go ahead.
Yeah,
Just pointing to the lovely picture, so I now have the headline for the post production. But talking about CRM, where the title of the show related to CX, how do you differentiate between CRM and CX?
So personally, I believe that I see CRM more as the sales to the sales CRM, right? Or maybe the service CRM where we will have all our service areas. And then I know that the CX is all that area with commerce, with marketing, with CDP. But when I say CRM, I usually refer to the sales and service
Yeah,
area. But in the end, CRM is not just the technology, right? It's everything that
right.
goes in that direction.
it's here, the mindset and the combination of heart and mind. And then you can get the power on the street if you combine it smartly. Yeah,
Exactly.
The
And Tom,
famous Corp triangle. We probably
exactly.
should explain it once more.
yeah. The magic triangle is if you have here 5,000 horsepowers in a V12 and there is no light getting up, that is not the smartest way to do it. There has to be the combination of the power and the light and the brains and the heart. And then you have a lovely scenario to make success, to create success. And a part of it is that people love to use what they have at their hands. And that comes with the cool UX.
hmm
Yeah,
So Tom has shared a full video on the software delivers customer experience, right? And I had an experience before joining SAP that I was working for public notary offices where you can go and register your real estate and everything. And by that time, we had these old books from 1800 or 1900 that people would have to go through to find your document and print for you, right? So these offices would actually charge you a print fee and also the lookup fee to find that document. So in at that point, we digitalized all these books
Yeah.
and delivered as part of the software. So you wouldn't have to look up anymore. But we found out that these public offices would still charge that lookup fee because they could, but they didn't have to because that was not an effort. So does software deliver CX? Sometimes. right?
How do you define a good CX?
So
Or what is CX
actually,
for you in general?
so
No.
that's a good point. I actually asked a few friends what they understood about CX, and I have to say that most of them they related more to the product that is delivered, to the unboxing experience, to the smelling of the T-shirt that you unpacked
Oh,
and
okay.
everything. Uh, but of course, in our industry, CX is more of how we develop the CRM to deliver that experience to customers, right? So I think that with that, how we can deliver better UX to CRM projects, I think
Yeah.
we have to be empathetic to the end users, to either the sales reps, the service agents, understand what are their challenges, what is their routine, and with that we can probably deliver better UX. So we enable them to deliver a better CX, right? And I think we have had a lot of progress in our industry the last few years with improved analytics, with marketing, commerce, with CDP. So we have to combine all that, developing a good marketing strategy that converts to sales, to develop that commerce that won't break when you need it. And I actually had one experience a few weeks ago, that I found like the best sneaker that I could get. I found too expensive to buy at the time, so I look up a few weeks after, and it was gone. It was not on the website anymore. So I registered to notify me whenever the product was back.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and like 2 hours later, I received this email, oh, your product is back in your size and everything. And I joined it two hours later, it wasn't. Then notify me again. 2 hours later, same email, no shoes available. So I think those small pieces is where we find a good or a bad CX, and that is where we as software guys, CRM guys, we can deliver a good customer experience in the end.
At least
Between
we could help them to
stuff.
deliver a better experience, such as the mail is just going out when there is stock, and at least more than one for one dedicated customer. Yeah, Marshall.
Yeah, it sounds between what we were saying about uh, preparing for Christmas dinner or any
Yeah.
other holiday, and what we're saying now about uh, the experience. It sounds like this is about remembering that there is a person at the other end of every transaction. And imagine having the empathy to understand what it's like for them when they get that email
Yeah.
and then go to get the product that doesn't exist yet.
We need to emphasize again on Thomas' most beloved statement that it's not us who are creating an experience, it's how the customer in life has made an experience about what we try to develop and create as an experience at the touch points he is visiting and touching, and where he gets that mail and it is useless for him, yeah, at the end of the day. So the better sort out would have been, there is stock, you get your sneakers, and you have a smile on the face and not and frustrated. Or as what I try to get people into people's head and heart is the experience you have in a real face-to-face communication, either if it's virtual or real, and you get a consultancy, you better are a competent partner to speak to, and you know more than it is written on the package of the product. So I want to know where my benefits are and why I should even buy a more expensive product because at the long tail and over 2 years usage, I might have a benefit because the product is more stable, is more reliable, or something like that. So this is the same with the tools they use. I often experience that even in the modern environment, you see in Europe still not many situations in the shop floor where they utilize their smartphone to give advice or to consult the customer, or a tablet and help the customer to inform him in a proactive way. Yeah.
Yeah. I think something that resides with me in one of your webcasts with Dennis Pombriant. He said that, and you all reacted so nice to that. He said that sales reps want to be consumers of information in the CRM, right? And I think that is the key, right? We all enter information in the CRM, but we want that information to be useful to us in the end. So I think there are many ways that we can do that, and allow the sales reps to focus on what they actually are meant to do: build relationships, being trusted advisors to their customers, knowing them, and as I said, living in small cities, in small communities. When I go to a store, they know my name, they know where I live, they know what are my interests. They may even met me outside of work, right? So I think all that understanding, and with CX products, with CRM, we can deliver these information to them, and sales reps can focus on what they do best.
Well said.
Looking at CX and UX, why do you think is UX so important for the customer having a good experience or getting a good experience?
So if we look in the CRM as the sales tool, I think that as we said, as Dennis said, customers want to be, sales reps want to be consumers of information. So when I look to UX, it's more on how we present, how we organize these informations and deliver to them, so they can take benefits of that. And we have some very simple things that are not new, like analytics, putting analytics in the right context at the right time, delivering relevant notifications with actionable items with context information, so they can follow up on the items. And then we can start advancing to other things like AI, machine learning, and all that. But we hear these going back to the basics, and we see that many customers, even though they have the powerful tool, right, Ralph, they have to take full advantage of that. Otherwise, it's just a heavy arsenal for a small usage. So putting all these pieces together, I think it's the key for the good UX, and with that, we enable sales reps to deliver the customer experience that we desire.
In your article late November, you mentioned the differentiation between the onboarding phase and the adoption phase. If it's fine with you on UX-wise perspective, could you elaborate a bit on that?
Of course. The way I understand and we see in the industry, onboarding is the phase that you receive the product and you have the whole project to put that in action. So that is the onboarding phase, where we have to develop that whole Christmas dinner and all the nice to have things to the users. But the journey begins when we have the go live of the project. We have to enable users to make excellent usage of the tool. We have to develop these analytics that by the time that we plan the project, we just have ideas, but we have to learn and develop more on that strategy. And things that are more, let's say, more complex, like AI, machine learning, and all this intelligence that we can bring from the CRM. That is something that you have to have a better understanding, a more mature adoption to start with those areas. So I think it's the whole journey of adopting new features, and with cloud solutions, we have new features every 3 months. So this exercise will probably never end, and hopefully because customers want to deliver better and better experiences to their consumers. So it's important that we never stop.
Now extending a bit out of the sales area, as now in my understanding CRM is a bit more encompassing from a technology point of view than just sales. What makes a good UX for marketing or service departments?
That's a big topic, and probably a little more complex, I would say. I think it's the marketing strategy goes all about defining the segments that you want to attack, the triggers that you want to have to send these marketing campaigns, like the shoe out of stock that we just mentioned. So the good user experience in marketing is to maybe deliver or suggest some tactics to the marketing teams, enable them to measure the success of these campaigns and have action on that. Because I think we have a lot of KPIs in the market that references, but every customer is a little bit different. Let's say conversion rate, right?
Yeah.
Depending on which marketing tactics you use, you have a higher or a lower conversion rate naturally. If we think about landing pages where we have requests for a quote, that is a much higher probability of converting than a natural interest of products that the consumer has viewed or has put in the basket, for example.
No, this is more or less about the end user, the end customer. So how about the users of the software?
The experience of the users.
I think for the marketer,
the ones we actually get to talk to.
I think for the marketers, we have to, as mentioned, suggest these tactics, have like good segmentation that they can build, reuse, and with the analysis of success, then being able to adjust these tactics. So sometimes building this segmentation is something that will require analysis, and the tools must have the capability to have these data intelligence in analyzing all these events and these campaigns. I think that's more how the UX would play a bigger role in marketing.
Yeah, presenting information clearly is always going to be important. With an example, I've been in lectures from, certain consultancies that I won't name, where they were putting forth brilliant findings, but the people presenting it, they were essentially like reading a phone book. I assume that people remember what phone books are. Just dull, repetitive, no excitement about the data or the event.
And thick.
But highly structured.
Yeah. And that is as much a user interface as a computer in that sense. If you are not putting information in a palatable and handy form, it's not going to get absorbed. It's not going to get used.
And I wrote, as I'm very curious, out of the experience that you are a man of the field and of the practical, let's say, projects. Have you developed over the years a secret sauce for a successful project in the area?
Yes, I think it goes well along with what Marshall was mentioning, that we develop the strategies and we analyze that as we execute, and then we learn and we improve. So especially on marketing, I think that's the most important thing to do. And if we look on sales, then we also have to analyze these strategies, how we are progressing in terms of marketing conversion. And if we see marketing and sales, I think if we consider these type of projects, the secret sauce would be to have the communication among these sometimes two different teams, two different departments, which arguably it could be one, right? Marketing and sales in the same group. So when we get different groups to define the strategy together, I think that it has a much higher chance of success than if we get smaller single groups developed.
Like that one, yeah.
And if we look in practical projects, we see many times IT driving these CX projects because it's technology, but many times they are not so empathetic to the end users, and sometimes it's hard to know the business, right? We all have been in CX for years, and we are always learning a new thing. So same would be for business. So if we integrate with IT, so if we integrate IT with business, I think that is the not so secret sauce.
Is it possible to customize too much?
It is, right? I think that with CRM, we have to look in ways that we sometimes may extend to bring that fit to the business, or to develop any specific strategy. But if we build an entire new CRM out of customizations, that's probably not the way to go. If we look on lead, opportunity management, sales funnel, it's not so different across industries. And with CRMs, we could easily customize all these, not customize, configure these funnels, these sales processes, and not have to customize the whole product, let's say.
Why do you think that companies still customize or configure, depending on how you choose your words there, the hell out of their systems?
I think everyone think they are somehow unique, right? This is only for my business. This is really this is a must-have for my industry. And if we look from a higher level, we see that in the end, it's very similar to what we have in the neighbor, right? In the industry, close to you. So I think that's probably why they customize so much. There is sometimes a look into the legacy system, but my legacy system did this, and the new software don't do. Maybe the new software does even better in a different way. Right? So there is a change management topic, which is quite big, that companies have to develop.
In how far are consultants, like you, solution advisors, are consultants too, of help or disturbing there? I know it's a bit of a mean question.
So
putting up the heat a little.
Yeah, can you just say again if we help or bother?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you, in how far do you think is there a help or a bother?
I
Or
think
maybe
that
both sometimes. Might
maybe
be,
both
but,
sometimes, and I think we have to bother, we have to question
true. Yeah.
things
Yeah.
to whether you have seen something differently or you have a different perspective. So
Yeah.
I think it's naturally that in relationship we bother each other, right? So a relationship with husband and wife, that happens a lot. With a good friend, you have to bother them sometimes. So I think the role of the consultants is to question, is to think differently. Sometimes, and that's probably the reason why I joined it and started watching the show, that we have to see different perspectives to know what everyone thinks and what's the best strategy on that area. So I think somehow we have to bother customers to develop these strategies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
there's
Good point.
no such thing as a friction-free relationship. If there's no friction, there's no contact, there's no engagement. You've got to have the touch points, and sometimes they're going to be annoying. That's
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Especially on this topic of marketing and sales, right? I think that is a topic that always hits up a little bit.
Yeah.
So how sales teams and marketing teams defines what is a marketing qualified lead or a sales qualified lead, or what's my conversion rate, and why it's not converting? Why has marketing sent me this lead that I will never close? So they also have to bother each other somehow to develop their own strategy.
I trust that joining them in a team effort and build that team relationship and eliminate the danger of too much siloing and create different shadow worlds of keeping still some extra contacts is one winning success factor. Another one is to try to discuss it in openness without hurdles, and then find a common way of understanding, such as you will participate from better marketing qualified leads, which are moved to sales, and you get some of our bonuses if we can do better closing to make it from the money side and from the side of understanding that you are in one boat and you have to row in the same direction. It's honestly no fun if you see these boats with 8 people rowing and they are going in a different structure and a different rhythm and even try to go in different directions. That is killing the whole effort. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. But I probably won't mention to my customers the topic of bonus to marketing teams and the sales teams. I think that that might be too much for me.
Yeah.
That was just one idea I had
think
in
it's-
mind, such
I think
as
it's great.
motivation is not coming only from being close to each other and understand each other. If you have a bonus or an earning or an incentive which makes you tick and is to your liking, and that could also be a dinner with the team together, yeah, that is less harmful than a bonus only for the stomach and winning weight. Yeah.
Do you want to suggest that people are money driven? So that's unheard of. Unheard
money?
of.
What are you doing,
Unheard of.
No.
They go up like a rocket if you give him the right check. Trust me.
But
The right motivation.
looking at the lead handover, marketing to sales, as an example for a place where UX can matter or should matter, actually does matter. So what would you recommend your customers how to organize that from a system point of view or systems point of view? There are often 2 systems involved.
Yeah. I think every customer has their own marketing strategies. Like for example, a classic example is a landing page with request for a quote. That is a lead on itself, right? If a customer has request for a quote, you should probably direct them directly to the salespeople. If they are viewing your products, maybe putting some items on the basket for your e-commerce, that might be another trigger to send a lead to sales teams. If they have an abandoned shopping cart, for example. And there are other more complex strategies that you could develop to nurture their interest on the products based on your marketing campaigns. And then it's different across industries, across companies. But at some point, you will see that this person has recurrently seen your content, seen your products, and demonstrated interest on certain areas. So that's probably where you should send them to salespeople. And again, I think watching the KPIs, such as the conversion rate, I think that is the way to analyze the success and reprogram your strategies. So I think there is no exactly right or wrong, but watching the KPIs and trying to improve with different strategies is probably the way to go.
Apart from conversion rates, you mean probably between funnel stages here. In which other KPIs do you see worthwhile looking at?
So we can probably look into customer satisfaction, NPS scores on that sense to see whether people are more interested on your campaigns, whether they are accessing the content that you are sharing. Probably in your emails, it will always redirect to your e-commerce or to certain areas of your company, a website or something. And these would be also good indicators of success in your campaigns. If people are opening the content that you are sharing, that is probably the way to go. And I like the idea that we have content-driven marketing where we generate. Let's say that you are a supermarket, and you find that Victor likes to cook some barbecue. So you not only send him the options with meats, with everything that he needs for the barbecue, but you also send him a video on how to cook that good. I forgot a name of a meat, but how to cook that.
How to cook the perfect turkey.
The perfect turkey, exactly.
Barbecue turkey might be good. Might be
good.
Yeah.
So
we start from the preparation of a dinner, and we have a project as a similar comparison. So we are in the CX kitchen, to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good title, Thomas.
And relating back to what we were talking before, sometimes the kitchen is the best place to be.
And communicative. Yes.
Yeah. Thanksgiving, my favorite part of that holiday is the 2 days before it, cooking with my family. The eating is nice, but it's the prep and the working together that is so much better. And on a project, it is, in my opinion, not that different.
It's a collaborative space, right?
Yeah.
The kitchen, while one is cutting the onions and cutting the potatoes, someone else is cooking the rice or making the turkey. So it's similar to a project for sure.
And relating back to the content marketing piece. So now content marketing is an engagement process with the objective of the customer having a good experience. And so that they ultimately turn back to us and convert to customers. So what is the role of UX in there? Because so far that was all in the realm of CX.
So in terms of UX, people that drive these CX strategies, we have to make this process easier. So in CRM, we always hear this request of reducing the number of clicks, right? My segmentation easier, or reusing my marketing content. So all these areas are important to deliver that good UX, and allowing people to advance on this strategy. So the UX is more so people are willing and happy to adjust these strategies and work in the solution.
How many companies in your experience are using the help of UX experts to build their processes, their internal processes?
I have to say that especially when we look in highly customized projects, there we have a bigger role of UX. Because if we see in a standard CRM implementation, the UX is already there. So, for example, you might find a good integration with Microsoft Outlook or Microsoft Teams that you can seamlessly, so sales reps would be using these tools in their day-to-day, and they will use these tools to communicate, to build relationships with their customers. So with these basic integrations, they don't have to go in the CRM and enter, I send an email to my customer at this day, but they automatically integrate that from Outlook itself. So these would be the small things. And I think I forgot your question, Tom.
Question basically was where UX can help in creating a good CX. Well, an account-based marketing or a content-based marketing campaign. What are the UX pieces that matter there?
So for marketing, especially, I think it's all in terms of reusing the content that you have and simplifying segmentation and target group creations in that sense. Or also where we see like quick ways. For example, Emarsis has their own tactics that they suggest to marketers. Use this strategy that other customers have experienced good results with them. So again, it's making the adaptation of these strategies easier, so users can develop these and will be happy to use this.
So you suggest that we customize, individualize the journey content, the accompanying information to the needs of the dedicated, for whatsoever defined customer, and make with the same content a smart reuse of the content for a different type of customer, as we emphasize another part of the story we would like to tell.
It's all about personalization when we go through marketing, right? If we look on these small stores, as they know the name of the customer, where they live, and everything, the marketing tool should also have that information. Know who are the customers, what are their interests, and with the tool, you can probably create one campaign that fits different segments. So I think that is where also UX play a good role.
Rolf.
Some practical examples you mentioned make me still very curious, as the field experience is like the salt in the fantastic prepared soup and makes it even more tasty. Give us some of your lighthouse projects you would like to talk about.
Yeah, going to the e-commerce space, for example, I
Mhm.
see that I seen here in Brazil many CPG customers. They are using highly the e-commerce to enable their customers to have the same experience that they have purchasing for their home or purchasing for their business. So, for example, if here at home, I buy half of my stuff from the internet and get it delivered to my house. In the business, whether you are a restaurant, a bar, or something like that,
Yeah.
you probably want to order all your beverages and get it delivered to. So the e-commerce allows their consumers to have the same experiences there, right? So it's fairly common to see that. We have some good cases here in Brazil,
Yeah.
where companies develop these strategies for consumers and for business, selling beverages, for example. And for for the small business, it's easy to set up the recurrent purchases or adapt the weekly purchase of
Okay.
your beverage, for example. And I see that with that strategy, you can have sales reps focusing more on relationship, on promoting strategic products, or also what happens is that they can take other roles, like supporting the logistics
Hmm.
of delivery and everything. So it's it's similar to what happens on the retail, but apply it to this industry where they can do the review of the stores, deliver the package, build
Yeah.
relationship, and customers can purchase the products that they are used to from the e-commerce.
And where would you see differentiators in B2C and B2B, or is it all people to people? Where do you see here some differentiations?
Yeah, it's not that different after all,
Hmm.
right? So if I have a business, I probably want to have the same experience there as I have at home, especially for consumer goods, right?
Hmm.
So I think it's people to people in the end. It's not B2B or B2C, but we still have these terminologies, and in many cases, it is a little different as well, depending on which business you are.
Now, Brazil is, if I remember correctly, the largest and most diverse market in South America. And if it isn't, it can't be far off. Uh,
Mm.
are there any lessons from Brazil that we can apply either in the US or in the European market? Similarly, large, broad, and diverse places?
So I'm thinking about this example on itself. I think it's not that different from what other countries are doing as well. Especially on CPG, you must have an e-commerce to facilitate the ordering for other business. Um, I'm thinking about examples specific on Brazil. I cannot recollect anything, but something that my wife just bought yesterday. It got to our home yesterday. Actually, it
Yeah.
was these bottles of vitamins, which are gummy things. I think probably there are others in other places, but the experience of having the vitamins as a gummy thing sweet, it's very nice. And as soon as I saw that they have these vitamins as well for kids, it
Yeah.
changes completely, right? So somehow, as I talked to some friends and they see customer experience as the product, as the delivery, as the packaging, I think those are also small things that we have to consider in customer experience. It's not totally related to marketing, sales, commerce, so on. But it's customer experience as well in the end.
You just focus on one little thing, which I find very interesting: packaging and the reception of what came with the package. What I was asking myself in a lot of situations is that we got used to get a lot more shipped, such as by postal offices or private deliverers. And I have had some bad experiences that, especially for Christmas, stuff came broken. So I had to return it, unusable. Or if I want to talk about another bad experience, a sock with a hole in it is no good at all. So the quality control must be really rotten. Yeah. Or they have some animals inside the woolen socks already when they distribute it. So they had a lot fun and a nice meal before I unpacked it. But it didn't help me, honestly. Yeah. So how did, for instance, the COVID experience in your country, in your area, and out of your experience, change all this?
So in terms of after pandemic, we see that ordering and getting delivered at your home, it's more and more common. And
Okay.
even like people that wouldn't be into it prior to pandemic, they got used
Yeah.
to it after it, right? I cannot relate directly to the pandemic itself, but I have one good case. It's actually from a small business from a friend of mine that they build a stuff from paper. So you get these paper wallets or t-shirts with a wallet pocket in paper as well, and they can print any in any form that you want. They build these communities that people can give their art and they distribute on their e-commerce. And I find the CX on their business very nice. So you can recycle your paper wallet and get a discount afterwards. You get it shipped in a very small package. And what is also nice from there, as you said, from the package itself, it comes in some package that you can later fold and it turns into something useful. So this
Wow.
coin thing that you can store your coins in
Yeah.
that in what was the package. So you actually don't harm the planet. You actually make it easier to deliver. And in the end, building this community, people don't buy because of the paper wallet. They buy because of the experience that you have on that. And I think every company that gets used to this must get used also to deliver a good post-sale experience, right? In case it's broken, you have to return, you have to do something about it. So the channels that you serve your customers and how you respond to them, I think it's key to deliver these good CX.
So now the channels, that ties a little back to the UX part. In how far, if at all, did the users' requirements to their software systems change as part of during the pandemic? Did they at all?
There are probably changes. I cannot recollect on top of my head, but I think that advancement of e-commerce, of the marketing strategies that was already in place prior to pandemic. It just advanced much further after that. Being digital, it was key in the pandemic, and I think it will remain key after pandemic. So I think in the end, it didn't change much. It just uh, um, made some rush to get there.
Well, I can imagine looking at salespeople who are not allowed or able to visit their customers physically anymore. They probably need their metaverse now to put a buzzword in here. And same with customer service agents who may no more be as centralized in a big cubicle farm anymore, but staying more at home. So did you talk about, or did you see any companies who ask about how to support these kinds of scenarios?
I think all that has been happening even prior to the pandemic. I think from sales rep, if you look on 1990, sales reps were already calling their customers to get the relationship, right? Emails and everything was already part of their day-to-day. The pandemic just advanced that further. E-commerce, I think it's the same. B2B commerce, it isn't so new. Prior to the pandemic, we were already developing that a lot. And with service area, I think that right now it's more a reality. Many companies were concerned to have distributed call centers or service areas, but right now it's just normal, right? If we look at banks, for example, even with high need for data security, data privacy, they are still working remotely. So if they can, probably other business or other industries also can do it.
Why didn't they do it to that extent before?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Probably it wasn't so cultural. It wasn't in place, and the employees didn't have a taste of what working from home is and the possibilities that brought us. I think all of us we got very afraid when the pandemic hits, and we were probably afraid to put these strategies in place before that. But as soon as it happens, we see that it works. It works just fine, sometimes even better. So why not keep it?
Just as the opportunity for, let's say, the famous Rasbas question, what are your perspectives on 2023? Such as your wishes, your predictions, how things can change for the better or unfortunately for the worse in the next year?
Fears, lottery numbers would be nice.
I wish I had it. Something that I found very interesting, and I think that today in the current version, it isn't optimal, but ChatGPT, I think it has a potential to not this technology itself, but using that in the advancement of CX. I think it's a good thing. We have been talking about conversational sales and everything. So that kind of technology could support the sales reps in the end. I think we still need some maturity on that, but it might not be for 2023, but at some point we'll get there. If I can add another two that we close it, I think the topic of marketing and sales, it's very important that they connect close to each other, they align, they analyze the results, and last but not least, I think we touched a little bit on the theme of local stores where they know their customers, they have great relationship to them. I think we have to get there, and we are there already. If we develop good CX strategies, and we combine all the effort, all the potential of CDP, for example, we'll get there. We'll get to know our customers better and better, and with that, develop good CX.
So the secret is to come back to the knowledge of the mom and pop store, or is it in German, Tante Emma? We can support this with technology. Victor, it was a pleasure to have you in our show. We're very grateful. Thanks for the time. And it would be fantastic if we, the four of us and our audience, will come safely into the new year and we have an opportunity to talk again. That is from my end.
Pleasure was mine.
Definitely. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Also from the Pacific Northwest. And, well, to the still existing audience, see you next time. See you next week for another great show.
Thank you. Have a great 2023.
Cheers, everybody.